use certain things. So we will continue with the topic. Here Sri Aurobindo speaks of a peculiar temperament of Indian man or Indians. And what is that peculiar temperament? The peculiarity of the Indian will in life is that it feels itself to be unfulfilled, as if we have not achieved the final things, as if we have not achieved the final things, or what we have wanted from our life, we are yet to achieve. This is a peculiar temperament. What does it actually mean? That we are not in touch of the supreme perfection yet. We are yet to touch the supreme perfection. That is why we feel unfulfilled in the will. But of course, he refers to the highest Indian will, not the ordinary will of ordinary average people, not permanently justified in any intermediate satisfaction. Intermediate satisfaction means even if I have become a very rich man, I I have my political powers, I have my economic powers, I have social respect. Still, Indian will is not satisfied. Still the Indian will feels that something more we are yet to achieve, something more we are yet to accomplish. That is why you have perhaps seen many rich industrialists all of a sudden left everything to pursue a standard deeper life. Uh, and till when it feels unfulfilled, if it has not found and does not live in the truth of the Spirit. If I am not living in the truth of the Spirit, so long I am not living or uh, I I am not living or I have not found how to live in the truths of the Spirit, I feel myself unfulfilled. So this is the first concept, and let me quote the exact writings of Sri Aurobindo. The peculiarity of the Indian will in life is that it feels itself to be unfulfilled, not in touch with perfection, not permanently justified in any intermediate satisfaction, if it has not found and does not live in the truth of the Spirit. So Indian will feels itself to be unfulfilled, number one. Second, not in touch with perfection, not permanently justified in any intermediate satisfaction. Intermediate satisfaction means vital satisfaction, economic satisfaction, intellectual satisfaction, emotional satisfaction. These are all intermediate satisfaction. But uh, then, which is their final goal? The deepest will in us feels or wants to live in the truths of the Spirit, because Spirit is the only reality according to India. So this is the first concept. And then second concept, uh, almost it is contrary to scientific approach. What science thinks, first matter is evolved. After matter is evolved, consciousness evolves. But Indian thinking feels consciousness, this soul, spirit, consciousness are not only greater than inert matter and inconscient force. First thing, they are greater than spirit, soul, consciousness, these are all greater than matter. They are all greater than force. Not only this, Indian minds thinks that they precede and originate these lesser things. So matter and force are lesser things. Uh, Who is the or what is the originator of this matter and force? This spirit, this soul, this consciousness. So this is another important point. So the Indian idea of the world, of nature, of existence is not physical, but scientific view is 100% physical view of existence. But Indian view is the Indian idea of the world, Indian idea of nature, Indian idea of existence is not physical but psychological and spiritual. So this is the first point to be noted. Then, uh, what is the conclusion of this first point? That soul, spirit, consciousness are not only greater than matter and force, they precede and they originate these lesser things. Lesser things means matter and force. So, these two are another Indian conceptions of life. And then all force is power or means of a secret spirit. This fact we have discussed yesterday also, that all force are either powers or means of a secret spirit within you. They are not independent. They are powers or means of a secret spirit within. The force that sustains the world is a conscious will. Another contrary view, contrary to what science believes. According to science, world is being sustained by a mechanical force, mechanical will. But Indian conception of life emphatically believes, no, this world is being driven by a conscious will. There is a conscious will, and you can experience this conscious will if you pursue the yogic uh, any types of yogic disciplines. If you pursue, then you yourself can uh, uh, will, will experience this fact. This is the claim of Indian conception of life. So nature in its machine, and then what is the relationship between nature and the spirit? Spirit is the originator, and nature is its executing force. Nature is the executor. Nature is the executor. Spirit is the fundamental originator thing. So, and nature is its machinery of executive power. Executive power. So, nature is the executive power of the spirit, executive power of the consciousness, executive power of soul. And what is the conception of matter? Matter is the body or field of consciousness. Matter is the body. Matter is the body or field. As you are a consciousness, but your body is the field. Your physical is the body or field of the consciousness hidden within you. So matter is the body or field of consciousness hidden within it. So there is a consciousness within you, and your physical is nothing but a body or a field of the consciousness which is within you. And then what is this? And then what is this? What is this material universe? The material universe, a form and movement of the spirit. So all powers, all means are means of secret spirit, powers of secret spirit. First thing. Second, the force that sustains the world is a conscious force. Second conception. Third, lesser is the machinery of executive power of the spirit. And what is matter? Matter is the body or field of consciousness hidden within it. So, in any matter, there is consciousness within the matter. Even within this table, within this wood, the consciousness is hidden within it. Consciousness is everywhere. So, and what is this material universe? The material universe, a form and movement of the spirit. So, whole material universe is the form and movement of the spirit. So, spirit is the originator. Spirit is the originator. Then who is man? So we have discussed what is the meaning of power, what is the meaning of material universe, whether the force that sustains the world is a conscious force or unconscious force. Now, who is man? So man himself is not a life and mind born of matter. But Western conceptions say they have seen a force manifested in the material universe, and they have also seen a life in it, and they have also seen the life as a purpose through a human being, because man gives meaning to that life only. Only man is capable of giving a meaning to life. But here, absolutely 180 degrees contrary. What India believes, man himself is not a life and mind born of matter. Life is not born of matter and eternally subject to physical nature. He will not be eternally subjecting to physical nature. One day he will be free. That day will also come. This is India's claim. But a spirit, when man, a spirit, that uses life and body. Not life and man, not life and body born of matter, but man is a spirit that uses life and body. So spirit is the originator, spirit precedes. So this is another conception. Then what is this much talked of Indian spirituality? In a very nutshell, what is this much talked of Indian spirituality? Maharaji says it is an understanding faith. Faith on what? Faith in what? Faith in this conception of existence. First thing. First dogma. If you call it dogma, if you cannot call it truth, this is the first dogma. What is the first dogma or first call? It is an understanding faith, not blind faith, but understanding faith in this conception of existence, which we have just now discussed, in this conception of existence. First point. Second, it is the attempt to live it out. You are to live accordingly. This is the second dogma. Third, it is the science and practice of this high endeavor. So this is the third thing. What is Indian spirituality? Indian spirituality is nothing but science and practice of this high endeavor. It is not an ordinary thing. It is a high endeavor. And then the fourth element of much talked of Indian spirituality is it is the aspiration to break out in the end from the mind. But what type of mind? Mind bound to life and matter. So you are to break out from the mind which is bound to life and body. Into what? Into a greater spiritual consciousness. So ultimately, you are to break out from the mind which is right now bound or tied to life and body. And by breaking out from that kind of mind which is bound to life and body, you are to proceed, or you are to break out into a greater spiritual consciousness. Greater spiritual consciousness. And Maharishi says, this is the innermost sense of Indian culture. This is the innermost sense of Indian culture. And it is this that constitute the much talked of Indian spirituality. Indian spirituality is nothing less than this and nothing more than this. These are the 4, 5 elements. First one is understanding faith in this conception of existence. Second, attempt to live it out. Third, science and practice of this high endeavor. Fourth is it is the aspiration to break out from what? From the mind bound to life and body into a greater spiritual consciousness. And this is the innermost sense of Indian culture. This is what is called Indian spirituality in a nutshell. Then, but Maharishi is aware, or we are aware, Indian conception life is aware of what? It is evidently very remote. It is evidently very remote from the dominant European idea. Very remote from the dominant European idea. It is different even from the form given by Europe to the Christian conception of life. It is not only radically different from Western conception of life, it is also different from the Christian religiosity. It is not similar, not even similar. It is remote ideal, remote. So, and then we have discussed already about consciousness, but whether that does mean we are escaping from the life, then Maharishi says, but it does not mean at all that Indian culture concedes no reality to life. Concedes no reality to life. Concedes no reality to life. Follows no material or vital aims and satisfaction, or cares to do nothing for our actual human existence. India cares even for vital satisfaction, but does not stick to them. India cares also for material and vital aim and satisfaction. It also cares to do many things for our actual human existence. And it cannot truly be contended that a conception of this kind can give no powerful and inspiring motive to the human effort of man. Nobody can say. Certainly in this view, matter, mind, life, reason, form are only powers of the spirit. But they are recognized. Their reality have been accepted, but accepted as powers of the spirit. Matter, mind, life, reason, form are only powers of the spirit and valuable not for their own sake, but for whose sake? But because of the spirit within them. And it is typically said by the Upanishads as Atmartham. They are all Atmartham, but they are recognized. Their realities have been accepted, but they are not existing or they are not valuable for their own sake, but they are valuable only for the sake of the spirit only for the sake of the spirit. And that is why Upanishad says, Atmartham, they exist for the sake of the self, says the Upanishad. And this is certainly the Indian attitude to these things. So difference is, according to Western conceptions of life, these are independent things. Matter, mind, life, reason, form, they are independent. They has to be satisfied. So they should guide the human life. But in Indian conception of life, spirit is the originator, and they are powers of the spirit, They are not existing for their own sake. They are not valuable for their own sake, but they exist for the sake of the spirit within them. Spirit within them. Uh, but that does not depreciate them. But that does not depreciate them or deprive them of their value. So value of mind is not thus depreciated. Value of reason is not thus depreciated. So, but that does not depreciate them or deprive them of their value. On the contrary, it increases 100-fold their significance. When mind is power of a secret spirit, when reason is power of a secret spirit, when your intellectuality is power of a secret spirit, then it increases their significance 100-folds. Form and body immensely increases in importance if they are felt to be in sync with the life of the spirit and are conceived as a support for the rhythm of its working. If your body is nothing but the powers of the spirit, then this conception increases the significance of your body. But according to science, when a body is a material object only, it has no significance. But according to Indian conception of life, not only the reality of your body has been accepted, but Indian conception in addition to that says your body is the field of a secret spirit within you. And this conception increases the significance and importance of your body 100-fold. And are conceived as a support for the rhythm of its working. A rhythm of its working. And human life was in ancient Indian thought no vile or unworthy existence. It was not vile or unworthy existence. Why? If you are asked what is the proof, it is the greatest thing known to us. Mahabharata, Ramayana, all our Mahakavyas are only proofs because they are Mahakavyas of human lives only. They are not the Mahakavyas of the spirit. They are the Mahakavyas of the life only. Also, and human life was in ancient Indian thought no vile and unworthy existence. It is the greatest thing known to us. It is desired even by the gods in heaven. In our Purana, it is said that even gods means small z. Small z means not the supreme one, but his powers, gods, small gods, which is called in Indian terms devata. So it is desired. It is means human life is desired even by the gods in heaven. It is so important. It is so important that even by the gods in heaven wants human life. It is there in Purana. It was so important. Human life was so important to India that it is said in the Purana that this human existence is desired even by the gods. Gods means plural number. And small z. Small z means they are powers of the capital Z God. Small Z-O-D-S. When the word God will start with small z, then it is not the supreme God. It is the powers of God, like the Ganesha, Indra, etc. But they are powers of the supreme God, but they are not God. And that is why in India, in Indian language, they are called devatas, devas. But not the Brahman. They are powers of the Brahman. They are powers of the Brahman. And Brahman has infinite powers. As we are called, we have 33 crores gods and goddesses. Because the ultimate truth is infinite. As ultimate truth is infinite, his powers is also infinite. So we have we can even add to this great list. Even we can say we have 33 33 lakhs of gods, because the infinite powers, the supreme divinity is here in India called infinite. That thing is infinite. As it is infinite, it has different powers, hundreds of powers, crores of powers, and a particular power is represented by a god. God means small z, and that is why actually Aurobindo says human life was in ancient Indian thought no vile and unworthy existence. It is the greatest thing known to us. It is the greatest thing known to us. It is desired even by the gods in heaven. The Purana boldly says that because human life is superior than that of the lives of the small z o d as gods. Because devatas have no aim in life. Devatas have nothing to explain. All these devatas have nothing to accomplish because they have become already immortal. They have nothing to do. But we are we are still not satisfied. We are to achieve many things. And from that point of view, human life or the significance of human life is greater because we have functions. We have aim in lives, but devatas have no aim in life. Animals and the gods have no aim in life. Only the human life has aim in life. And that is why in Puran says the gods in the heaven desires human life. Because through human life they can do something. They can accomplish something. So this was the importance given to human existence. The only difference, your body is the power of a secret spirit. You are not a body, you are not a mind, you are not a prana, but you are a spirit, you are a soul. And what is soul and spirit? It is the portion eternal of the supreme divinity. And your mind, your body, your prana, these are powers and means of that secret spirit, of that secret soul, and that is, and you are that only. You are that only. You are not your mind. You are not your prana. You are not your body. You are that only. So your real identity, your real individuality are using your mind, using our vital, using our body, using our mind. And from that point of view, as as India recognize as India recognizes them as powers of a secret spirit, and that is why their significance are increased hundredfold. But science do not give them any such glorified significance. According to science, they are all product of material universe. So the deepening, the deepening and raising of the richest or the most potent energies of our minds, of our hearts, of our life power, our bodies are all means by which spirit can proceed to self-discovery. You are secretly a spirit. You are secretly a soul. Your duty is to discover yourself. But how you can discover? How you can proceed towards your self-discovery? You have to proceed to self-discovery through all these powers, through the powers of mind, through the powers of reason, through the powers of intellectuality, through the powers of prana, through the powers of sarira. So they are powers and means of a secret spirit by which spirit can proceed to self-discovery and return to its own infinite freedom and power from where it has descended. So it wants to reunite itself again with its original source, with its original source. So the deepening and raising of the riches or the most potent energies of our mind. So Indian conception of life gives importance to deepen and raise the riches of the power of your mind, of your body, because unless and until they are cultivated, unless and until powers of mind, vital, body, intellectuality, reason are cultivated, your spirit cannot proceed towards self-discovery. Because your spirit or your soul can proceed towards self-discovery only with an enlightened mind, only with an enlightened prana, only with an enlightened body. That is why in India says Soriram Agdam Kolu Dharma Sadhanam, because Sorir is the base. Without this base, the spirit just cannot exist. For the very existence of the spirit, a body is required. Without this body, so this body is the divine mansion, and thereby the significance of your body is increased hundredfold. But science, according to scientific view of your body, scientific view of your mind, scientific view of your mind, body, your prana are not something glorified things. But according to Indian conception of life, they are means and powers of a sacred spirit, and that increases their significance hundredfolds. And for when mind and heart and reason, already I have said, for when mind and heart and reason heighten to their greatest lights and power. So your intellectuality has to be heightened. Your power of mind has to be heightened. The power of reason has to be heightened. India has not neglected them. Rather, India has given so much of importance to them, so much of importance on them. Because why? Why India is giving so much of importance? Because India is aware of the fact that for when mind and heart and reason heighten to their greatest light and powers, they bring embodied life to the point. They means your reason, your heart, your mind, your body will bring your embodied life to the point. Why it is called embodied? Because the spirit is within you, embodied. So they bring embodied life to the point where it can open to a still greater light and power beyond them. So first, we need the powers of all these things, powers of intellectuality, powers of reason, because they are to bring me to a point. And after reaching that point, I will be able to open myself to a still greater power beyond them. Beyond them, the individual mind widens then individual minds widens into a vast universal consciousness. Your individual consciousness will be united with the whole. Your individual consciousness will then be united with the universal consciousness and leads towards a high spiritual transcendence. And when it happens, then automatically you will also utter, when you will be experiencing all these things, you will also be uttering that Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. You will also be uttering Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. You will also be shouting then then you will also be shouting, then Srinanto Visya Amritasya Putra. Then you will also be shouting like Vivekananda that truth is my God, universe my country. Then, like Vivekananda, you will also shout that sisters and brothers of America, when they are not when the American peoples are not related to you, still you are addressing them as the brothers and sisters. But for that, your individual consciousness has to be united with this universal consciousness. And for that, what is the procedure? First procedure, you must have understanding faith. Faith in what? That your intellectuality, your mind, your body, your prana, your reason, your intuition, all your powers and all your means are not existing for their own sake. They are means and powers of a secret spirit. But that secret spirit cannot proceed towards self-discovery himself or itself. He has to, or it has to proceed towards self-discovery only through his means or only through its means and powers. And by first, mind has to be heightened. Reason has to be heightened. All these faculties have to be cultivated and heightened to the greatest lights and powers. Greatest lights and power. This is the first requirement. First requirement, understanding faith. Second requirement is the cultivation of your all faculties. And then all these cultivated and heightened faculties will bring you to a point. And at that point, what will happen? You will open yourself. You will be able to open yourself to a still greater light and power beyond them. They are also power. Mind, life, mind, reason, intellectuality, vital body, they are also power. But at that point, you will be opening yourself to a still greater power and light beyond them. And then what will happen? Then your individual consciousness will be united or widens into a vast universal consciousness. And this is in India what is called cosmic consciousness. And what is the practical significance of consciousness? Then I will see my own soul in your soul. I will see my soul in your soul. And I will see your soul in my soul. Why? Because essentially your soul is portion eternal of a supreme power, supreme truth. Opening yourself, you will be able to open yourself to a still greater powers and light beyond them. And then your individual consciousness or individual mind will widen into a vast universal consciousness. And then and it will lift towards a high spiritual transcendence. And this is what is called cosmic consciousness. And accordingly, so Maharishi concludes this paragraph by saying that these are at least no sterilizing or depressing ideas. They exalt the life of man. And make something like Godhead its logical outcome. Make something like Godhead its logical outcome. So, by this conception of life, man gets a significance of itself. And the Western conception of life cannot provide us any significance to human life. But here, the whole Indian conception gives or adds a very unique significance to human life and a a, and gives us a target, to which we are to reach. We are to reach to, or we are to hit that target. With this, allow me to conclude here. Thank you. Thank you. Next.